Greetings from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm Aslan Hajavandi. He's Corey Clark. Florida State just wrapped up their second game here at the College World Series. Corey, a 2-0 loss to Michigan. Sorry, everybody. I showed up. Things went awry. I'll take some of the blame. Ultimately, a beautiful played baseball game, according to 11. Unfortunately, Michigan was the one with the paintbrush.
Well, Florida State didn't play that beautifully. Michigan, their defense was kind of the story. The left fielder, a couple balls almost got over his head. They seemed to be hit really well, but he was positioned right there. And I remember when the game started, you can see from our perch up in the press box up there, Aslan, the left fielder plays really close to the line for most hitters. And there's a huge gap between him and the center fielder, but Florida State never exploited that. They kept hitting him down the left field line or to him, and he was always right there. It was great positioning. Obviously, the Tommy Henry kid was electric. I don't even know if
was
electric.
He though?
Yeah, he was good. He is good. He's a second-round pick, and he's a lefty, and he faced a lineup dominated by lefties. Not only dominated by lefties, but dominated by lefties who hadn't seen one in a long time. I don't know if Becker had ever faced one before a couple weeks ago, maybe in a relief role against a reliever, and Carter Smith too. They don't usually play against lefties. And Albert, obviously the shoulder, you can tell the shoulder's not great with him. It's just, either way, it doesn't matter. This park, you can't score it no matter if you have the 98 Yankees, or the Rockies from the mid-90s. It's just really hard to score out here. That's why all these scores look like this. Henry was really good. The Florida State pitchers weren't any worse. They struck out 17 guys. Michigan put 10 balls in play the entire game and got 7 hits. That's what I like to call batting average on balls put in play, BABIP. Yep. They're hitting right around 700. Florida State was not, a little less than that.
2 games, 1 run.
Yeah.
That's not going to win you any games, really. But they did win 1 game, so you point out in your column. So that's, I guess, the encouraging thing. I mean, I guess for me, the disappointing thing is the reality that this team looks like they've sort of regressed back to the mean. And they're going to play a Texas Tech team that can hit the cover off the ball, and I think went yard twice against Arkansas in that elimination game. So it's an extremely...
That was an afternoon game. I think the ball does jump a little bit more here in the afternoon.
And that will be an evening game when they do play Texas Tech on Wednesday. I mean, that's a concern. I guess the thing, though, is if they can get past Texas Tech somehow, they play Michigan again, and who knows what Michigan will throw at them, and they can't possibly look as bad as they did on Wednesday night. I guess that's really all I got.
So
Monday night,
so we all know that their Game 1 win on Saturday was the first time they'd won their first game since 1999. Well, in 1999, they then lost their second game and then had to go. I think they beat Fresno State or Cal State Fullerton or somebody in the third game, and then had to beat Stanford twice, and they did. So hey, if we're going by the 20-year deal, the 20-year rule, then they're right where they want to be. They got to beat Texas Tech on Wednesday, obviously, or Mike Martin's career is over. But if they do that, they get to play Michigan again, and they won't be facing Tommy Henry. They'll be facing a right-hander, and then probably Henry in the second game if there was one. And I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves. The reality is they've scored 1 run in their last 26 innings. Dating back to the 4th inning of the LSU game, they've scored 2 runs. The Mendoza and then this one. They've scored 2 runs in 26 innings. And, their best hitters, Albert and Mendoza, don't have a hit yet. Albert had 1 hit in the first game. Mendoza's 0 for 8 with 4 or 5 strikeouts. He's hit a couple balls hard, but in this place, that doesn't matter. They just laugh at you when you hit a ball hard to the opposite field here. It doesn't matter. So you hope that they can string together some hits. And, if the pitching staff can give you what they've done the last 2 games, holy moly, you got a chance. But, the thing is, and I said this to you before we recorded this, and I wrote it in my column, when you score 1 run in 2 games, you're never around for a Game 3. Florida State's around for a Game 3. Now, so they still got life. They still got breath. And with this team, was it supposed to be easy? Really? Right. Like, if this team is actually going to do something incredible and unbelievable, like getting here is enough. If they were to somehow win a national championship, which, again, chances don't look good right now. Offense can't score, and you're in this park, and you're playing really good teams. But if they were going to do it, it wasn't going to be 5 in a row, just easy peasy. That's not how it's going to work. You're going to have to get in the losers bracket and win 3 in a row. But and I do like the sense that nobody expects them now to do anything again. They're back in that role, and they've excelled in that role. Still, if you can't score, you're not going to win.
That's a pretty good note to go out on. The only thing I wanted to add is that I felt talking to that team that it's fresh. Obviously, we're talking to them 10 minutes after they lose. That just did not seem like a very optimistic bunch, a hopeful bunch. It did seem like what they know, what kind of team they are, and the fact that they played the way they did, it feels like they even realize that they just kind of regressed to the mean. Maybe the glass slipper is kind of
well, and when you kind of
fractured.
when I can flip what I said on its head. Usually, when you give up only 2 runs in 2 games, you've won them both, and you're on to round 3. So Florida State, in that regard, it's not great luck for them. The pitching has been great. Again, the park has something to do with that. But overall, not today, no. I mean, again, Florida State struck out 17 guys. You can't sit here and argue that Michigan played great. They didn't.
Really?
Their defense was good, but they didn't hit the ball at all. They made Scolaro look like Steve Carlton. That guy hadn't pitched in a month, and he comes out and just, what is this? A lefty that throws off speed? Oh, what? We don't see this in the Big Ten. But it didn't matter because they had a really good pitcher going, and those guys played great defense. But Michigan hadn't won anything yet. You know, they're not. I wouldn't. They're obviously the favorite because they'll have to win one more game. Florida State or Texas Tech has to win 3 in a row, but it's doable for either Florida State or Texas Tech. I would say Texas Tech probably a better chance because of that offense that you said. I think that plays a little better in this park, but still anything can happen, man. It's a dumb, goofy sport we all love, but it is incredibly goofy. And you know, if Mike Martin just has one more game, at least he's doing it on this place, Aslan, where homers go to die.
That's the way to look at it. He and I will have some more thoughts in an extended podcast. It'll just be a regular size podcast.
It better not be extended.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks for watching.